Lisa Vanderpump made her entrance onto the Kelly Clarkson Show set with her trademark elegance. A blush pink silk blouse tucked neatly into tailored black trousers. Her hair perfectly coiffed and a warm but slightly guarded smile on her lips. The audience erupted into cheers, clearly delighted to see the reality TV icon. And Kelly greeted her with an affectionate hug before they both settled onto the plush couches. For the first few minutes, their conversation was light. Lisa spoke about her restaurants, her animal rescue foundation, and her latest television project, peppering her sentences with her signature dry wit that drew easy laughter from the crowd. But the mood shifted when Kelly, glancing down at her notes, leaned forward slightly and said, "Now, Lisa, you've never been shy about speaking your mind. But some of your recent comments about former castmates have stirred up quite a bit of drama. Do you ever regret being so blunt?" Lisa's smile sharpened. "Darling, I don't regret telling the truth. If people don't like it, that's their problem, not mine." The audience gave a mix of applause and low murmurs, sensing a spark. Kelly chuckled lightly, but didn't let the moment pass. Some people might say the truth is subjective, though, especially in reality TV. Lisa tilted her head, her eyes glinting. "Reality is reality, Kelly. It's not my fault if some people can't handle it." The crowd's reaction was a blend of impressed laughter and a low hum of anticipation, the air thickening ever so slightly as the first flickers of tension appeared beneath the polite banter. Kelly leaned back slightly, but kept her eyes fixed on Lisa. Her tone still friendly, yet edged with curiosity. "I get that you're all about honesty," she said. "But when you call people out so directly, especially in interviews, it can come across as personal attacks. Some of your former castmates have said they feel you've crossed a line." A ripple of murmurs moved through the audience. Lisa let out a soft laugh, shaking her head. "Oh, please. If they feel attacked, maybe they should ask themselves why the truth bothers them so much. I'm not out here making up stories." Kelly smiled politely, but pushed again. "Still, do you think there's a difference between being honest and being maybe a little too blunt?" Lisa's expression hardened, just a fraction. "Kelly, I didn't build my career by sugarcoating things to spare people's feelings. If that makes me blunt, then so be it." The audience responded with a mix of applause and hushed chatter, the divide in reactions already apparent. Shifted forward, her voice measured. "But sometimes, especially in the public eye, your words can have ripple effects you don't intend. Do you ever think about that before you speak?" Lisa's eyes narrowed slightly, her smile now tight. "Oh, I think about it, and then I decide to speak anyway." The crowd reacted with a few laughs and scattered claps. But the undercurrent of tension was unmistakable, as if everyone could feel the conversation moving toward more volatile ground. Kelly's friendly facade thinned just slightly, her voice taking on a firmer edge. "Lisa, I totally respect speaking your mind, but you've been in the headlines for calling people manipulative, liars, even cowards. Those aren't exactly harmless labels. Do you ever think that maybe, just maybe, those words could be hurting people you used to call friends?" The audience reacted with a collective "oh," leaning in. Lisa crossed one leg over the other, her posture immaculate, her gaze unwavering. "Kelly, if they were truly my friends, they wouldn't have done the things that warranted those labels. I'm not in the business of protecting bad behavior." A wave of applause rippled through part of the audience, while others stayed quiet, the tension mounting. Kelly leaned in now, her elbows resting on her knees. "But don't you think people can make mistakes without being permanently branded? By them in the public eye. You have a big platform. People listen to you." Lisa's smile was cool, her tone clipped. "And maybe if more people told the truth, instead of hiding behind polite lies, there'd be less of that bad behavior to begin with." The crowd responded with a mix of cheers and uneasy murmurs, the energy in the room vibrating with anticipation. Kelly glanced briefly toward her producers, who were watching intently from offstage, before looking back at Lisa. "You don't think there's ever a point where it's better to keep some things private?" Lisa's reply came quick, almost cutting. "Privacy is earned, darling, and some people forfeit it with their actions." Kelly hesitated for a moment, then decided to push the conversation further. "Some fans think these strong opinions you've been sharing lately are tied to your departure from certain shows. Maybe there's still some unresolved bitterness there. The audience reacted instantly with gasps and low murmurs, sensing the question had struck a sensitive chord. Lisa's smile froze in place, her eyes sharpening. Bitterness. She repeated, her tone cool but laced with steel. I've built a life and career I'm very proud of, with or without those shows. Walking away was my choice, and I don't dwell on the past, but I will defend myself if someone misrepresents me. Kelly nodded slowly but didn't retreat. It just seems like some of your comments have been very pointed toward people you used to work with. Lisa leaned forward slightly, her voice lowering in a way that commanded the room's attention. Kelly, I've always been pointed when it comes to the truth. I don't see the benefit in pretending everything is sunshine and roses when it isn't. The audience gave a scattered mix of applause and murmurs, the tension now almost tangible. Kelly attempted a lighter tone. But surely there's a way to keep it classy and still be honest. Lisa's lips curved into a faint smirk. Think I'm the epitome of classy, darling, but I won't dilute my truth for anyone's comfort. Offstage, a floor manager shifted nervously. Clearly recognizing they were only a few exchanges away from losing Lisa entirely, Kelly opened her mouth to respond. But Lisa was already sitting back with a faint, dismissive shake of her head. No, I came here to talk about my projects, my restaurants, my animal foundation, all the things I'm passionate about, she said, her tone still poised, but noticeably cooler. Instead, I feel like I've been put on trial for simply having an opinion. Kelly tried to keep her tone calm and conversational. Lisa, I'm just asking the questions people are curious about. Yes, well, perhaps they should be curious about something that actually matters. Lisa cut in, her words crisp. A low wave of ohs rolled through the audience. She reached down, unclipped her microphone, and set it neatly on the coffee table. I think we're done here. The audience erupted in a mix of gasps and applause as Lisa stood, smoothing her blouse and adjusting her handbag. Kelly stayed seated, watching with a faint, stunned smile as Lisa turned toward the curtain. Thank you for having me, Kelly, Lisa said over her shoulder, her voice carrying just enough edge to be polite but final. Without waiting for a reply, she strode off stage, heels clicking sharply against the floor. Phones were already raised in the crowd, capturing every step. For the inevitable viral clip, Kelly exhaled slowly, glancing briefly toward the band as the room hummed with the aftershock of what had just happened. For several long seconds after Lisa disappeared behind the curtain. The set seemed suspended in a strange, awkward quiet. The audience caught between clapping and whispering to one another. Kelly remained seated, her hands folded in her lap, a faint, diplomatic smile fixed in place, even as her eyes darted briefly toward the producers off camera. A few tentative chuckles rippled through the crowd, but most faces were turned toward the side stage where Lisa had exited, as if half expecting her to return. From somewhere backstage came the muffled sound of hurried voices, a mix of Lisa's team and the show's crew, their tones low but urgent. Kelly finally broke the silence, turning to the camera with an easy charm that belied the tension in the room. Well, she said with a soft laugh, "That's live TV for you." The audience gave a round of polite applause, though the energy still felt unsettled. The band began to play an upbeat tune, the familiar melody clashing with the atmosphere that lingered in the wake of the walk-off. As the camera pulled back for a wide shot, Kelly adjusted in her seat, glancing once more toward the curtain before shifting her attention to the next segment. Behind the scenes, Lisa was already heading toward the exit, her stride brisk, her phone in hand, leaving behind a moment that would be replayed, analyzed, and debated long after the studio lights dimmed for the day. The instant the show cut to commercial, the backstage area came alive with hurried movement. Lisa's publicist was already at her side, leaning in to whisper while guiding her toward the dressing rooms. Crew members stepped aside quickly, exchanging wide-eyed looks as she passed, her posture perfectly upright and her expression unreadable. "Cars out front," her publicist murmured, one hand lightly on her arm. In the control room, the director replayed the last 30 seconds of the segment, shaking his head. "That's going viral before we're even off the air," he muttered, while the social media team scrambled to prepare an official clip. A stage manager ducked into Kelly's green room to relay a summary of what had happened to the executive producer, who was already on the phone with network PR. Outside, driver stood beside a black SUV, scanning the building's side door just in time to see Lisa emerge, the heels of her shoes tapping briskly against the pavement. Without breaking stride, she climbed into the car, shutting the door with a quiet finality. Back in the studio hallway, a young production assistant leaned against the wall. Phone in hand, eyes wide as a flood of notifications lit up the screen. The first audience-posted videos were already climbing into the thousands of views. The fallout had begun, by mid-afternoon. Lisa's dramatic walk-off had exploded across social media, dominating trending lists under hashtags like hashtag #VANDERPUMPExit and hashtag Kelly vs Lisa. Entertainment news outlets rushed to post side-by-side video clips, some looping the exact moment she unhooked her mic and stood up, others overlaying dramatic music for effect. Fan reaction was split. Some praised Lisa for refusing to sit through what they saw as an ambush, while others accused her of dodging fair questions. On Twitter, former castmates weighed in cryptically, posting vague quotes about truth and accountability that only fueled speculation. Kelly's team posted a short, upbeat clip from a later segment, making no mention of the confrontation. But the comment section was flooded with questions about Lisa. Meanwhile, Lisa herself broke her silence with a single Instagram story. A photo of her sipping tea beside one of her dogs, captioned simply, "Some things never change, darling." Within hours, the image had been reposted thousands of times, dissected for hidden meaning. By evening, pundits on entertainment talk shows were debating who had won the exchange. But one thing was certain: the moment had transcended a single TV appearance and cemented itself as the latest reality. TV Flashpoint 2 ripple far beyond the soundstage.